Right here, this little boy, the dad, oh my god, like this movie right here is ridiculous. It should say ridiculous on there, because part two and part three in the other franchises, I gotta get to those. If you want to see more of content like this where I talk about these ridiculous ass movies that directors think is so great but it makes money, so it's gonna make sense today for them, I'm just going to summarize it my way, because I'm Nakisha Graham. I'm 35. I need content. I need engagement so I can start getting paid on here. Duh. The most I ever made was like $5. That's not enough to even pay a motherfucking water bill. So I need everybody to do engagement. If you're going to look at my videos and do all that, the least you could do is say hi and leave a fucking comment so I can start having an audience on here to do my movie reviews and keep me motivated to keep doing what I do and talk my shit about these crazy movies. Summarize it my way, the Nakisha way. Follow me for more movie reviews and whatever content I feel like talking about, whatever the fuck I feel like talking about, because this is my page. This movie is about a little boy who can astral project outside of his body. One day the family move into the house, the dad, the mom, and the little boy fell off the ladder because he was just being a fucking little boy. And the parents ran upstairs when he started yelling and screaming, realized he got a bruise on his head. He went to the hospital. The parents brought him to the hospital. The doctor said he's in some type of coma. He don't know what type of coma it is because they never seen one like this. So the parents brought him home after about 3 months of being in the hospital because the doctors just don't know what's going on. Everything else is healthy. He looks fine. He don't even have no damages in the brain or the skull, so they don't know what's going on. So finally, after being skeptical for a while and just losing all hope, they finally the mom find like a red handprint inside the machine. I mean inside his bed, and told the dad about it when he finally came home, because he's trying to avoid everything because he doesn't know how to really handle stress. And he's already a teacher, so he's already overworked, overtired. And the last thing he want to come home to with his wife sitting on the stairs with bloody sheets coming from her son. And so they finally called the mom, and the mom finally called someone named Elise. And Elise already know who Josh is, because when he was a little boy, he used to be able to astral project outside of his body. So now you see how it's all connecting together. And Elise already knew who Josh was, because a long time ago, he used to have dreams just like Josh, just like his son Dalton. He used to be able to walk outside of his body. And they had a ghost parasite, the bride in black or whatever. She used to follow him, and she wanted to be him and possess his body. So Elise had to suppress his ability so he could be able to have a normal childhood and make him forget. So that's why he does not recognize Elise, because Elise wiped out that side of his memory and suppressed it and put it to sleep. So he doesn't recognize Elise now that he's an adult. So I guess what she did work. So I guess she do got some type of fucking magic, and she do got some reputation. And now it's happening again with the grandson, Dalton. And after Elise did her evaluation and walked into Dalton's room and looked at him and evaluated him and watched him sleep, she heard a little creakling in the corner, and she looked up at the ceiling and she saw exactly what was bothering Dalton. And then she brought everybody to the living room and said, look, your son is not in a coma. He is sleeping, and his body's here, but his spirit is not. He's able to astral project. He's able to literally walk out of his body whenever his soul feels like it and travel to the east, west, the east coast, the north, Paris, whatever, in spirit form. He's able to take a good vacation, and he's walking around with these spirits, hanging out with them, doing a crip walk and smoking blunts and everything with these spirits, because he thinks that he's just dreaming. He'll wake up at some point, so he's not scared. But these souls are surrounded by him because they know that he's alive. And they want to possess his body and go back into the real world and be human again. And at first the son the dad didn't want to believe it. Josh is like in denial because it sounds crazy, but the mom kind of believes it because the mom been seeing shit, ghosts that she don't understand what's going on. She think that she's going crazy. So everything is starting to make sense. So after she did a seance with them, she did contact Dalton, and Dalton said that he's being held captive by the red-faced demon, the one that she saw in the corner when she first got here. And she basically need Josh to go get his son. And Josh like, why me? And she said, because you can astral project I don't know why Elise couldn't do it, because if she could see dead people from the time that she was a kid, and she can see spirits, and she can go into the further, why she couldn't go get Josh? Like, that don't make no sense. If you could do all these wonderful things, why you can't do it? That would have been my first answer. Why you can't do it? But I guess she felt like, it's your child, go get him. And nobody else can astral project but you. So, and he did it. He went back and he finally was able to confront the demon that wanted his body a long time ago. He's been waiting for Josh to go into the further, and Josh said, get away from me, leave me alone. But the man really possessed Josh. The ghost that's been bothering him since he was a kid possessed him, but he didn't know he was being possessed. And he went into the lair, the red demon's lair, and his son Dalton really was being trapped into the spirit world, and he really was chained up, and he went and got him. And the red-faced demon chased them because he's not about to let his own freedom pour them into the real world go. And they got back to the house in time but they had other ghosts that were interfering, because that's their job, and they all crossed over into the real world and was terrorizing the family into the real world. The ghosts was in the house and about to attack all of them, but Josh and Dalton got back into their bodies just in time, and they all disappeared because the house was shaking and everything. And they thought everything was over. Josh woke up. Dalton woke up. He's not in a coma. Their daughter Callie, son Foster, everybody, the whole family reunited again. But Elise feels like something is wrong towards the end, and that's where the plot twist comes in, the aha moment in everything. So you have to go through almost an hour or 2 hours into the movie before you finally see what the aha moment is, the plot twist. And it's a shame that they have to make you go through a whole hour of watching the movie to get to the good stuff. You know, like, that's just give it to me all at once. Don't make me have to go through this whole shit to see what's going on. So basically, Elise feels like something is wrong with Josh because he's not acting like himself. So she took a photo of Josh and she couldn't believe what she saw. And it didn't show what she seen at the beginning because they wanted to save that for the last ending. But Renee felt like something was wrong. She told Dalton to stay here because he was eating his spaghetti because he's been in a coma for like 3 months. So he's starving. And he had tubes in his nose. So I guess that he was being tube fed. But he was starving now that he woken up into his body. And then Renee came into the living room to see where Elise was and tried to look for Josh. She couldn't find it, but she found Elise's body dead. And when she picked up the camera, she finally saw what Elise saw. And what Elise saw was the bride in black. So Josh, the real Josh, is stuck in the further, and that's where part 2 comes in, where she has to now Dalton basically has to go into the further to go get his dad. Now he tied a white rope around himself, and he put himself to sleep to go get his dad in the further. So first it was Josh going to rescue Dalton, and now in part 2 is Dalton rescuing Josh, which is stupid because now it's Josh going to get his dad out the further, and that's what it is. And in part 3, it's with Quinn Brenner searching for her mom who died from cancer, and she goes into the spirit world by accident by being hit by a car from a man who can't breathe with the mask. And basically Elise told her that's dangerous. Don't ever go into the spirit world, because if you shout out to one person, everybody can hear you. Everybody can hear you, and somebody is going to answer, and sometimes it's not going to be the person that you think it is. And she didn't listen because she wanted to see her mom. And her dad is already working and doing everything he can. He got to raise 2 kids by himself, and he need Quinn to help him. And she's trying to get into acting school, and she just missed her mom. And the man who can't breathe pretended to be Quinn's mother. But Elise is like, you're not her mother, and I know you're not her mother. You're just trying to use this girl to get inside the real world and possess her, because that's what he does. He make every woman that live in their building commit suicide so that they can join the darkness and be with him. And now that Quinn is his new pet, he got half her soul. But Elise is trying to help her rebuild herself and get the confidence. But it took her mother's spirit to come out the further and out of heaven to come down to where she's at, to whisper into Quinn's ear while she was in the further, to pull a mask off of his face so that you could free yourself. And that's what she did. And she went back into the real world, and they lived happily ever after. And Elise was able to because that was her first time meeting Specs and Tucker. That was our first time meeting them, because they was pretending to find ghosts online through their YouTube channel, and they was faking it But when they met Elise decided to team up with them. And that's why they end up part 3. That was the best part, when she knocked on the door, because parents reached out to her from a person named Allison who got into a car accident. But she was like, Allison was not in no car accident by accident. It happened on purpose. And then she heard the same crickling sound in the corner like she did with Dalton in part 1, and then it cuts off. So I don't know what happened with Allison. They might make a movie, but now they got a new movie coming out called The Further. It's coming out August 21st, I think, and I can't wait to do a movie review on that. I can't wait to see it and do my own personal review of what I think of it, because I think all of them are great. And then part 4 with Elise and Keyface, he likes to torture people and he likes hatred and he needs to feed off hatred. So every man that ever been in Elise's life, he makes them horrible people. He made her dad, capture women and kidnap women and rape women, and Keyface killed Elise's mother, and the dad punished Elise for it. And Elise ran away from him when she couldn't take the beatings no more, and her brother blamed Elise for leaving him, but he could have ran when Elise ran. The father had a cane. He ain't gonna be able to chase y'all. All he could do is beat y'all with the cane. He can't chase after y'all if one of his legs is broke. Elise even showed him a future of how he gonna die, and that's from a massive heart attack in the bathroom. Before she left, let me check you right quick. And she felt guilty when she realized that one of the women that she saw, she thought was a ghost, but it was really just a woman trying to escape, and she made too much noise. And the father acted like he didn't see the woman and pretended that it was a ghost and beat the woman once Elise left. But it was Keyface influencing him to be a bad person, because the real spirit told Elise I'm sorry when he did vanish, because Elise had to go to the spirit world to save her 2 nieces that she didn't know she had, because her brother didn't stop speaking to her for such a long time that he was never going to speak. And he had 2 daughters, and Elise had 2 nieces, and one of the nieces have the ability to see ghosts just like Elise can. And I can't wait for the new film to come out.